That's what I be sharing my kids. Like anytime Phoenix says something, she's like, if it's a problem, I try to give her an alternative that makes her find a way to get what she wants out of it, even if it's like um, something like that. Like, oh, well, we're not giving you candy, but you know you can go knocking on doors and go sell stuff. And if they give you money, I will take you to go buy your own candy, right? At a young age, that's nothing to ask. All I gotta do is just go take some M&Ms and M's and say, "Hey, do you want to buy them?" But if you go and ask like a teenager that or an adult, they'll look at you like you're crazy, by helping them solve their own problems. So I wish my kids would come to me and go, "Dad, you didn't want to buy us a car, so we went out and created a business and they trade cars in for our advice." I'd be like, "Okay. Touche, right?
Get paid in
You
cars.
just don't park them on my damn driveway unless it's a car I get to drive."
It's like that old story. I think it was Craigslist or eBay, but like the dude turned a paperclip into a house. You remember that?
He traded.
He just kept
trading
trading.
up.
Yeah, trading up and up and up.
I got him. Watch me work. 10 years later, he's like Fortune 500 CEO. Yeah, that's insane, man.
Yeah.
I've never been a salesman. That's one thing it's not something I couldn't do. There's a John in me that would be like, "Hi, how you doing? Let me tell you about some of the opportunities we had with you, blah, 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 go eat a dick." But I've never really respected it, right? Like it's in my case, right, the salesman piece is, it's like I know what you're trying to get from me. You're just trying to find your angle to get the dollars from me to you. And that's a part of it that I never really liked internally. So I've never really could commit to being a salesman because in no way did I see it as like that. I kind of look at it as like if I'm in the club with a woman and we're all single, every interaction a dude like in my head, right? This is me, John, in my used to go to the club moment mind. Anytime I would go to a woman in the club, I would feel like she's thinking I'm trying to get her number. Because why else would I be coming to a strange woman in the club who's dressed to draw attention from me with what she got on, right? Like I don't, that's kind of how I feel about sales, right? Where I would rather have a woman's outside of that context to where it could be more fluid. I would want my sales experience to be more fluid, where it's not, just straight on sales. So it's hard for me to like grapple with that, but I still push my kids because it's like if people who know how to do that, people who could flip a paper clip to a house, man, you got to be a pretty good damn salesman. Whereas me, like one thing I'm focusing on is deal making. I'm like, I can't sell shit, but I can make a deal. I can figure out what it is that we both want and develop something we can both get. And that's like the way I look at things and how I'm trying to, I guess, leverage what I don't like, which is selling shit. Like I would be a horrible like devil trying to sell someone, like get your soul. You trying to sell me your soul? I could do a deal, but I would be a horrible salesman. Like, why you should sell your soul? Come on, man. Like, let's not talk about why, right? Let's talk about something else. Do you want or do you not? Shit will get off the pot.
Right? The devil is probably a bad salesman. I don't think he can get a soul from someone who's not in dire straits, right? Like he only approaches the people who are vulnerable and have no other options. Like that's predatory is what it is. No,
definitely predatory. Definitely predatory. I mean, yeah, he definitely has a type that he goes after. Right? There's definitely you call a market of people that sell their souls. Like, let me see, musicians, struggling musicians, struggling whoever, right? But yeah, and I remember Sinbad, right? Like not to get off on tangent. One of my favorite Sinbad jokes, and I'm not going to butcher it, but he has a bit where he talks about why he never got into drugs. And he said it's because he never believed in the value prop. Like when they come to you if I'm trying to sell you on meth and crack, there's tons of advertisement of what happens to people who are on it. You don't see a crack commercial of a guy who did Michael Jordan stuff or Michael Jackson stuff or Muhammad Ali kind of stuff, right? The advertisement is pretty clear. Like it's, you think this is the greatest thing on earth until you look up and you're way down in the hole and then with no self-respect. Why would I, like, how could I get over that hump, right? Like either one, drugs have to be that damn good, which I believe they are, because otherwise there is no marketing to get somebody to
There's
do crack.
no.
Like, there is no marketing that can be like, John, have you ever considered crack? And then you
No
watch this commercial, and a guy playing basketball, and he's like, I used to be depressed. Now I'm on crack. Take crack Zertia or whatever,
see.
you know, whatever, right? Like there's no advertisement. So they're technically bad salesmen. You're not selling anything. The drug is the sale, right? It's the feeling you get from the thing. Of course, it makes sense, but to the devil analogy, some stuff you don't even need to be a good salesman. People are just gonna go looking for it.
Yeah, that's the kind of sale. But are you a salesperson or do you just work there then at that point? Because then you're just exchanging money for the product. You don't have to. Because I was thinking like that's the kind of sales I want to do. I don't have to convince you that it's great. You already know. I just had a product. You come get it. Now I'm not a salesman. I just take your money in exchange for the thing. I don't work to sell it. So is sales just the exchange, the person who's exchanging the money for the thing, or you're like giving the whole story, getting you into it, and now changing your mind? Like that's the art, right? And I don't necessarily respect the art. I just, you know, like I got the thing you want. Let's exchange the money. Here's the thing. Keep on moving.
Yeah.
Right. You don't have to sell Girl Scout cookies. You just have them somewhere.
Just
and if people want them, they already know what they are. They'll buy them. You know, if they want them. But if not, you're not gonna be like, oh, come on, you gotta try this Girl Scout. I'll be like, what's wrong with you, Girl Scout? We already know what this is. If I want this, I know how to get it. You don't have to convince me.
That's what I always say, man. Like, do you want this? Here's what it is. How does that sound?
Yeah. You're not gonna try to sell me. No, I'm not gonna lie to you or bullshit you. It's either you like it or you don't.
This is the product. You came over here. I assume you were interested. If you have any questions, I can help.
I can answer any question you come up with. I'll be right here. Check it out. Man. That's how I would feel about, like, if I was a car salesman, right? It's like I wouldn't want to know every detail of the car. I would be like, here's the keys. What you want to do? You know, I'm not about to go to the manager. Hey, he said he could do this and that. Man, come on. That's too much, right? But let me ask you.
We cut to we cut to a car salesman and a customer outside of a room, outside of a door, a closed door. Okay, so we do things a little bit differently here. I'm not gonna try to sell you these cars. You picked the car you wanted to look at online. You drove down here. You've, I assume, done the research. All I'm gonna do is open this door. We have the car behind the door. You go in there. It'll just be you in the car to see how it feels. You know, look over the car, check the tires, look at the engine, whatever you want to do. But we like to let the cars speak for themselves.
Well, what if I have like a question?
Ask the car.
I ask the car the question.
Ask the car.
What if the car doesn't know the answer?
Well, then you have to ask yourself if you want a car who doesn't know the answer to that question, or if you want a car that you can discover answers together with. Everybody's relationship with their car is different. That's one thing that we believe here. So I'm just going to go ahead and open this door, walk through when you're ready, close it behind you. I'll come check on you guys in 15 minutes.
Thank you. So, car, pretty Corvette. You have any chances of that price coming down?
First off, My name is Beverly Thompson, and I find it inappropriate that the first thing you ask me about is my price and whether or not I'm willing to negotiate.
I'm assuming this isn't coming out of the trunk. If this is the car speaking, and my apologies, I didn't mean to disrespect you, Beverly. I was just looking at the sticker price thinking, man, that's a lot, but for a talking car, that may be just enough for the price. Do you mind if I sit inside you,
Oh,
Bethany?
whoa. Listen, you need to spend some time on the outside first, getting to know me before you start getting inside.
Oh, you
Okay?
want a little foreplay. You want a little fore. I can, yeah, I
Stop
can do a
touch.
little
Stop.
foreplay.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. I want to be taken seriously. See, a lot of these Corvettes out here, they just sit around waiting on somebody to jump inside and go fast. Well, I come from a long line of Corvettes. My mother was a Corvette. Her grandmother was a Corvette. Her mother was a Corvette. And one of the things that they taught me was to keep your door closed until you are meeting the right somebody to purchase you. Now, the only way I'm gonna know whether or not you're the right person is if we do a little conversation in right here with you on the outside and me keeping my insides intact. What kind of work do you do?
Well, I do. I'm a comedian, stand-up
Oh,
comedian. I travel the country, making people bellies feel butterflies. It's God's work. Some may even call me a minister of laughter. But I know
mm,
if I roll up into town with one of these, Bethany, something like you, me sitting inside you, you know, hitting that engine.
mm, mm, mm. You moving way too fast, funny man. I had a cousin who was bought by a comedian. That poor girl, she spent so many nights sitting in the driveway because he couldn't get a gig. And when he finally did, she was sitting out behind the club and the people throwing eggs at her and tomatoes and beer bottles. Oh, it was a horrible scene. I was so glad when he couldn't afford her. We accepted her back into the family because we don't kick nobody out, but she had a rough go of it. So I'm not big on comedians.
We cut to we cut to the cars talking after the the dealership is closed and all the customers have gone. So Corvette, I saw you talking to a customer for a while. Do you think he's gonna sign? How do you feel?
I hope he doesn't. I hope he doesn't come back over here signing.
Uh-oh.
He might have the money, but he doesn't have the intellect. And besides, I don't want to live that kind of life with him.
Corvette, sometimes I think your doors are locked too tight. You know, sometimes you gotta let these customers take you for a test drive.
Oh, I should have known. I should have known. You Mustangs are all so fast.
Oh, okay. We're gonna go into that.
That's
Look,
right.
I ain't gonna be with no customer who I know can't drive me. You know, I need to know how he drives or how she drives before I commit to anything. So I think it's important that we do that test drive as soon as possible.
Yeah, that's true, man. My sister, she got bought by a dude, didn't know what he was doing behind that stick. She was in the hospital for weeks.
Oh
But
no.
I mean the body shop. You know what I mean.
Oh,
No, we know what the
It's
hospital
horrible.
is. Of course we know.
He just jacked her whole insides up. Didn't know what he was doing.
See, that's what happens because y'all just let anybody jump in and ride. You got to get to know. I promise you, you got to get to know them first. You can't just open up the door.
Okay, but like, when's the last time you went above 60? Like, really though? You record that.
Above 60.
Above 60.
I don't want to burn my engine out. Having somebody say she's all used and torn up. I'm trying to keep all of this fresh. Low miles, low wear and tear. That's my goal.
Listen, eventually you're going to get passed around, all right? Whether it's when you're in your older years and you got low mileage, then they're gonna start passing you around and putting you on auctions and all kinds of stuff. Or when you're young and you got those mileage to burn. See me, I don't want to wait till I'm old. I want a human that's gonna ride me until the wheels fall off really quick. I want to end up in a scrap yard somewhere in on the Pacific coast. Glorious heaven. I've done my duty. I don't want to be old.
I can't listen to y'all. Y'all just don't care about yourselves. Let me hear what Pre-owned Bugatti has to say. Pre-owned Bugatti.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you're here, okay? I have never judged you for being pre-owned because your value is still very high. Where do you come in on this whole argument? What should I do?
I mean, I hate to say it, but you know, I am pre-owned. I was in a fully committed relationship.
Oh, wow.
It was wonderful until the crash. Until the crash was very bad, I'm very lucky to be restored, you know, to my original condition.
And
But
you look good. You look good. If you don't
you.
mind me
Thank you.
saying, they did a
Yeah.
great job.
Mm-hmm. But you know, if you ask me would I do it again, absolutely, I would do it again.
Wow.
You gotta live. You gotta get on those highways. You know.
That's a Bugatti right there. You got to take that Bugatti knowledge. You got to take that.
Well, yeah, I would. I'd take the pre-owned Bugatti's word over you, Mustang.
What's holding you back? What's holding you back?
Yeah, what's holding you back?
I think you scared. I think you don't know what's going to happen, and you're afraid you might like it.
Yeah, you gotta take off that pocket brake.
I think you're worried the customer's going to get in the car and not like the feel of the seats.
I think I'm more afraid of losing my new car smell, and you know when your doors get all loose and the windows start rattling over years. I don't want that to happen to me. I've seen too many cars go that way, you know, from just misuse. If I could just find one good owner, one. There are cars that have just been owned by one person. They take care of them. I've even heard of people being buried in their cars, okay? And that's what I'm talking about. Dedication, commitment to one owner. Washing me.
We cut back to the showroom the next day. So, salesman, my grandfather, he just hit the lottery yesterday, and he has a dream to come in and pay cash for a car. I don't think he's really going to drive it. He wants a Corvette, but as you can see, my grandfather really can't bend over a lot, but it's just something that he's just always wanted. So can you show him around and see if there's something he can do? He's bag full of money. He's right there.
He brought it in the bag. Great, yeah. He's got bags full of money. Yeah, sure. So we have a selection of Corvettes. There's one that we've had on the lot for a while.
Okay.
Never been test driven, low mileage, pristine even. Why don't I show you that one first?
You know, I think I would rather call this beat around the block a few times, if you know what I mean.
And scene.
That's cold.
Been around the block.
That's cold as well.